Good evening out there in TV land. My name is Daniel Fernandez. I'm here with Pastor Greg Liming. And Brandon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Brandon.
And we're here tonight as part of an initiative with the Colorado Trust and Dove Creek and Dolores County. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get as many citizens involved as possible in this initiative. We really want to hear from people out there. It's important because as we try to develop plans for whatever we're going to do in the future with regards to projects here in the community or even other initiatives within the community, we're hoping that we get more input. I would say up until this time, we've had probably close to maybe 120 people involved.
I think the number's actually probably risen a little bit. We had a lot of people come by and see us at a booth at the bazaar, and I know there's been other opportunities since then, so probably a little bit more than that so far.
So
yeah.
If we're talking 200 people, when you have, so literally we've already reached close to 10% of Dolores County when you think about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
10% of the total population has already been involved. That's good.
Yes.
But we'd really like to get more people involved. So as you see, we have a phone number right here, 677-2283. You can call us. You can remain completely anonymous. All we're going to do is we have 3 basic questions. And if you turn the camera on to those 3 basic questions that we would like you to consider. What is special about Dove Creek? What makes it difficult to live in Dove Creek? And what changes would you like to see? And really, when we talk Dove Creek, we're also talking the surrounding areas. So really what we're talking about is Dolores County.
Yes.
So we have a phone number, and you see it is on your screen as we see right now. Russ, that might have to be a little bit higher, I think, because that white lettering is getting washed out here. May need black up on the blue. So we'll get that little technical thing taken care of. But please, give us a call. We'd really love to hear from you.
Yes.
Greg, Pastor Greg, why don't you talk about some of what we've done so far with regard to the initiative?
Absolutely. And this, as I recall, started when Tara Wick from the Colorado Trust came to Dove Creek and started having conversations with people in the community. These were kind of one-off conversations. She would talk to one person, ask who else she might talk to, and it just kind of led from there. And this began in early September. And it's really blossomed from that time. There have been a number of small meetings or convenings is, I think, sometimes the word that is used. Some which are very large. We've had some larger meetings at the school and also at the community center most recently. And one thing that has really changed or shifted is that Tara Wick early on helped to really facilitate, get things going, was the catalyst, if you will, behind this. And really now I see many more of the residents truly leading this initiative. And so some have referred to it as the Colorado Trust Initiative. I think that's kind of how it started. It truly now is a Dove Creek or Dolores County, as you mentioned, initiative. It is resident-led. There's no I'll say single organization or structure. People come and go, but those that are interested in being involved begin to do that, and that's exciting. And what I see is the opportunity for more voices, more people engaging and really talking about the things that make this community so wonderful. And as they talk about that, then one of the things that I've noticed is that people are really starting to imagine, and they will say, what if? They'll consider the possibility of things that perhaps they have ignored before or haven't talked about, and it's really bringing out those things that are really positive. And so that's wonderful.
Good. Well, you know, and just as from a historical perspective, this studio and the fact that the equipment that we have, the broadcast tower, all that was all part of a Colorado Trust grant that was given to us here probably over over 15 years ago. So the trust has actually been here before. It was a wonderful organization to work with, and we're deeply appreciative of what they did for us in the past, and hopefully we can work with them in the future.
Yes, you know what makes this completely different is I think they've recognized, as some trusts do, that sometimes as they make funds available, grants, then communities, organizations will pursue those things in the way that they've been structured. And not always is that best for the community. And so the Colorado Trust has said, look, we recognize that residents truly know what they need the most. And so let's look to them. Let's encourage their voice. And when we say residents, we mean every person, from smallest that can speak to oldest. Those that have been here their entire life to those that have just recently come. And so, you know, what makes this different is that the Colorado Trust didn't come in with a presupposition that Dove Creek needs X. And sometimes we have to unlearn those things, right? We're accustomed to trusts operating in that way. And instead, they've said, you need to determine for your own community. But it can't be just a few folks, the ones that typically come in and speak. It needs to be everybody, or as much as possible.
As much as possible.
And
yes.
that's been really wonderful, because I know sometimes, and just in talking with people, you kind of get the impression that no one's asked them before. What do you think? What would you like to see? And that's exciting.
Right.
And so we're getting more inclusion, more conversations, and that's good.
You know, and over the years, what we've seen here in Dove Creek, we've seen a reactive community. We've seen a community that they won't participate, but then when you do something,
yes,
and they don't like it, yeah, they'll
that's
let
right.
you know. Or
yes.
they'll say, hey, this wasn't a bad idea. What we're really trying to do in this instance is really trying to get more people to be a little bit more proactive. We'd like
yes.
to see people step forward. Just call us. Just
that's
say,
right.
hey, look, here you see our 3
yes.
questions. If you switch back to that screen. The screen. Thank you. What is special about Dove Creek? What makes it difficult to live in Dove Creek? What changes would you like to see in Dove Creek? And again, Dove Creek, Dolores County. So it's more than just a town.
Yes.
It's
yes.
a county. Now, we have our member of the youth community here, sitting right here. So, Brendan, I'm going to ask you, what is special about Dove Creek to you?
It's small, like everybody knows each other, and it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's nice to each other, and that's what I like about Dove Creek.
And how many years have you been here?
4 or 5.
4 or 5? Okay. And what makes it difficult for you to live here in Dove Creek? Now again, looking at it from the youth perspective.
Everybody knows everything, like all the drama.
all the drama.
So,
Okay. And what changes would you like to see?
more fun activities for the youth.
You know, and we've gotten that a lot.
Yes, we have.
I think that is
Yes.
something that is something that we have heard. And heavens, I've been here over 25 years, and I still hear it from the day I got here to right till just 10 seconds ago. I'm still hearing the same thing, that they're looking for more opportunities for youth. You know, we are a little isolated here,
Yes.
and we don't have a lot of facilities. In fact, this DCTV and the kids show that we have in the afternoons is one of the few recreational activities other than sports that are available for kids.
Yes.
We do have we have a pretty extensive sports program, but we don't have a lot of other than sports programs available.
Yes. Yes. You know, just thinking about the what if. What if you could change all these things and make
Right.
something new? Encourages a vision, a sense of where you would like the community to be, not only for yourself, but really because this is long term, where would you like it for your children and children's children? And it really encourages looking out well beyond the current needs.
Right.
And many times communities, community government tends to focus on the right now, and perhaps some a few years out, but to really think about where should things be going and be headed, it becomes so important that we take that that responsibility and ownership ourselves, and I think as we take that on, and we know collectively what's important, what's needed, that all kinds of things begin to happen as a result. People begin to work together. One of the convenings I was at, or conversations I was at, that I thought was really interesting, is that not only was there the what if these things happened, but there began to be a conversation about what if there were groups that kind of spawned off or spun off of these conversations that began to do some new things. And some of them had to do with arts or music, youth kinds of activities. And so it may well be that that this is a way of beginning to bring people together that hadn't really thought about working together before, that then results in some new things that would never have happened if it were not for this. And that's amazing right there. That's wonderful.
Well, you know, and it was funny because this initiative with the trust actually had piggyback on a Telluride Institute initiative.
Yes.
And so we really melded in the two initiatives into this one. And so we're really hoping, we need to hear from you out there.
Yes.
677-2283.
And Dan, you were going through those questions earlier, and I wonder maybe if I can amplify a little bit, because sometimes we just see those three questions separately, and we kind of wonder what's this all about. What's wonderful about living here, or what's special? And I like the wonderful part, because it's the thing that really moves us, it motivates us, it has a strong attachment for this community. And it also helps us to realize those things that need to be protected or encouraged. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me get the volume up. Go ahead, Brendan.
Good evening. My name is Brendan Holiday. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative.
Yes, what is your comment or question?
Well, I was looking at your board. I have the same comment on number 1 and 2, the fact that we're so isolated. I don't like big cities, so I like living where it is isolated, but it is, hard, especially for older people to get around. If they can't drive, you're pretty well stuck. And when you were saying about the kids, being bored and not having anything to do, I've made suggestions to groups of kids in the past, and none of my suggestions go over, or they go over like a lead balloon. But when I was a kid growing up here, we didn't have anything to do. We had to make our own fun, and I was never bored. So I can think of things, and I think if the community would get together and discuss things, and everybody just pitch in occasionally. I mean, I told a couple of people here that I thought it'd be nice if we had some way that someone could have a phone number that everyone in town could call if they wanted to when they were going to Cortez, Durango, Moab, Monticello, Blanding, and just say, I'm going in half an hour. If you have anyone that needs to go, call me. And then people that want to go or need to go could call in and get a free ride for a while. I'd certainly be willing to do that. In fact, I already do it sometimes. Call different ones around I know that don't have transportation and ask if they would do it. And I'd be willing to participate in something like that. And I can think of things for the kids to do if anyone just wanted to do it.
Okay.
But so far, all I get is they're not drinking beer or dancing. They're not interested. So I think they're missing out on some really fun things, because there's a lot we could draw on in this area. We have Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid that used to hang out here. And I know for a fact that Pretty Boy Floyd's bank robber in the 30s stayed down in Bug Point all one summer, certainly before he was killed. So, we could have all kinds of things incorporating these kinds of characters. But we'll see. If anyone wants to know or talk to me, I'm pretty sure some people are recognizing my voice now. So I sound just exactly like some of my family members who've lived here for all their lives. So anyway, willing
Okay.
to help and work with anyone. Thanks for letting me blow off steam.
All right, well, thank you, caller.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so on the board, we're going to put what is special about Dove Creek? Remoteness. Somebody go ahead. We need to get it on the board. Go ahead. You're not on camera, so. Oh, yeah, you are on camera. All right, switch up. There you go. Put what is special about Dove Creek and put remoteness. But put it up there tight too in case we get a lot of comments. So, okay, it's remoteness. Okay.
You know, I think she also kind of
And
suggested almost isolation from negative influences,
Yes.
Big city influences.
Yes.
And so that's
Okay,
another-
Edward, just keep remoteness and isolation from big city influences. That yes, she was yeah.
and she's kind of
Or
reflecting
from
that.
urban influence. Just put
Yeah.
influence from urban influence. And Keegan, I hope you're getting that down also, correct? Good. Okay, now what makes it difficult to live in Dove Creek? Again, it's the remoteness. You have a long way to go to get to do a lot of things. Okay, that would be it right there. And then what changes would you like to see? I believe her answer there was, I guess, basically more
Fun.
communication within the community on if you're.
Yeah, you know, I kind of thought, as she was talking, I was thinking transportation co-op or cooperative, where people can share
transportation
rides.
co-op right there. That would be a good wording, Edward. Transportation co-op. Co-op, they're cooperative transportation. There we go.
And you know, one thing that she said, I think, reamplifies the need for what we're doing is soliciting people's voice. I think she had suggested that maybe input in the past it hadn't seemed as though it has gone anywhere. And one of the things that this is so important is that we collect all of these input and that it's not dropped, it's not lost. And so people can sometimes feel marginalized if their voice isn't heard, and it's wonderful when they do express that.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, let me ask you, why did you come up here?
Oh, well, that's actually pretty easy. The Lord called me to this church, Assembly of God.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was familiar with the area already, and I can tell you I am really thankful that He called me to this community because it's wonderful. It's by far the most loving, compassionate, and easy to meet people kind of community. There isn't pretension. You know, people operate and talk the way they are, and that's good. That's refreshing. It's honest in that, and so that's wonderful. I'm hopeful that He doesn't say go somewhere else. I think I might resist.
Okay. And then what makes it difficult to live in Dove Creek? We might also go ahead.
So continue on.
Yes.
Oh, you know, I do think that there can be kind of isolation, even though many people come together. They kind of come together in their groups, and I think that's kind of common anyway. And so I think if there was more of what we're trying to do right now, more opportunities for the youth to come together more frequently, then the part that really makes Dove Creek so special will become even better. I wouldn't really characterize it as being hard to be here in Dove Creek, but rather what could make it better.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would you like to see change or see happen?
I would like to see more of what we're doing right now. And I think sometimes people say, well, this is kind of seems like process. Let's get on with it. Let's get to a plan, or let's get to some money. But what I've noticed is that people's vision begins to expand more. And so I'm hopeful that this continues. You know, at some time along this process, we'll begin to consider what's been said, begin to work on, I'll say, the characterization of the vision, and then a plan toward pursuing some of these things. And so my hope is that we don't stop with the ongoing conversations. I think sometimes there are certain suggestions made that probably don't even require much resources. And technically, people could come together and do those things. And so there's an empowerment, I think, that we're seeing. People feeling, is this too good? I mean, can I really have a voice that's going to be heard and perhaps acted upon? And so I am hoping that the resounding answer to that is yes, and that people are going to want to keep on. I think I just lost my mic. Keep on pursuing that because they realize it's valuable by itself.
Okay. Again, please give us a call, 677-2283. We'd like to hear your comments. Again, you can remain completely anonymous. We have another hour to go, and we've had one call. So, again, 677-2283. Just give us a call. You know, we did a lot of advertising on this, too. We had just kidding. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Brennan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Duff Creek
Initiative. Good guy. Okay, what's your comment or question, or what would you like to say?
Well, what I like about Duff Creek is that we have such a small community that everybody knows each other, and we can band together and do something if we really want to. What makes living in Duff Creek difficult is you have to understand the mentality that is happening with big families. If somebody does something wrong, it gets overlooked because of names. And that makes it difficult for me. And what I would like to see changing is more communication between the community to help try to stop the flow of drugs that are coming into our community and the drug runners that are driving through our town.
Okay. All right. So we have what makes it difficult is difficult to live here. And could you be maybe a little bit more specific on that? On what you felt it was difficult to live here?
There seems to be a lot of leeway given to people when they do something that is possibly against the law.
Okay.
Or if there's bullying inside schools, some people have gotten away with it because of their name. And I don't think that's very becoming of a small community.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is family connections,
Influence.
family connections and influence.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Family connections and influence. And then on the changes, you would like to see more. So really, what you're saying is have law enforcement beef up drug interdiction. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily law enforcement, because they're doing as much as they can, but more of the community paying attention and letting the law enforcement know if something is going on.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is then basically you'd like to see the community step up more with regards to reporting drug issues within the community.
Yes.
Okay.
Or any issues.
Or any
Yes.
issue. So it doesn't necessarily have to be drugs, but just any issues.
Yes.
Okay.
And that just falls under general communication between the community. In my opinion.
Okay. All right, we've got that down. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
No.
Okay, well, caller, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Isn't that
Initiative.
wonderful that that he's reflecting the need for the kind of communication we're having right now, and,
Exactly.
and to expand it. That if we do pull together as a community and honor one another as a community, that there is an expectation that many more things can be possible.
Right.
That's wonderful that people already realize the value of this.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We've had 2 calls. Again, 677-2283. We're looking forward to your comments. Please give us a call. In fact, I was so startled when that phone went off.
You need a pre-ring.
Yeah. 677-2283. Yeah, I after the 3rd robbery in Texas,
Oh, yes.
that's why it was like, okay, where can I find a nice, quiet place, safe place to live? And that's how I ended up here.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, yep, it was and we've been very happy here for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
I would have to say that the thing that I've seen over the years that makes it difficult to live here, and since I have been mostly involved in the agriculture community and the business community, with the ag side has been the erratic weather.
Oh, sure.
And
Yes.
and sometimes it looks like we're getting ready to have a wonderful cropping season, and then we'll have an insect plague, or we'll have really violent weather, which does damage.
Yes.
But then, for the most part, though, we've really been dealing mostly with droughts. That's
Mhm.
been one of the hardest things. And then, of course, on the business side, for many years, Dolores County was actually number 1 and number 2 with regards to unemployment. You know, when the mines are
Sorry.
open and the mines are closed,
Yes.
and so and at one point, mining was such a significant industry here,
Yes.
and so that's kind of tapered off. Even our dependence on agriculture has tapered off significantly. When I first got here, it was 70% ag dependent. Now we're down to under 30. So, we're seeing a lot of second homes, a lot of retirees moving in, which again, then you have those services which have to be
Sure.
amped up. I mean,
Yes, that's right.
you've got to see an improvement in to be able to service the your aging citizenry. So, I'm one of those.
I'm moving in that direction.
Yeah,
So are you, Brad.
Yes, you got a ways to go, son.
Oh,
So,
goodness.
yeah, it's been tough. Changes, I couldn't agree more with Brendan, and that's the one thing that is having facilities for the young people. That has really been difficult. You know, we just really haven't had, the fairgrounds. Well, I'll take this call. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Duff Creek Initiative.
Good boy. Yes, can we help you?
Hello, how are you guys?
We're doing fine. How are you?
Good. A little cold out here in Dove Creek, but it's okay. That's what we love about here, is coming out to some place where it's just so beautiful to see all the different opportunities around you in every direction. There's dunes and sand and rocks and snow in directions about an hour and a half in every place you go. So it's a pretty special place. And I also really love the people and how self-reliant and how, supportive they are. If anybody needs something, someone's right there to help you. No questions asked. So that's the number one question I'd like to share.
Okay. Did you get that, Edward? Yeah, he's writing it down now because, like I said, we have our main board, so go ahead. So then the second question is, what makes it difficult to live in Duff Creek? Well, the diversity too, self-reliant and the diversity. She was talking about, Edward, on the what's special. And while he's writing it, yes, one of my favorite trips when I have visitors, I'll start in Duff Creek, I'll go through Disappointment Valley, we'll go up through Telluride and Rico, and then come all the way back around. and and you've got like 10 different ecosystems that you go through on that circle trip.
There's not a lot of places like this. I mean, we don't have beachfront yet, but you know that's.
Well, you know, we did it one time. you know, about 300 million years ago, we actually were on the edge of the edge of the inland sea. Yes.
I have some fossils of some shells on one of our properties that I found. So yeah, that's definitely a possibility sometime in the future. So what I think also the challenges are, a lot of it stems from the economics and just if there were more opportunities to capture the traffic that comes through here on 491, that would be very beneficial. And in that regard, I would think that the possibility of a sort of an adventure center with a museum or something that could showcase and celebrate the heritage of the area, but also look towards capturing the people that want to come here for all the archaeology, the hiking, all the different things, biking that you could do in this area. And why not stop here as well? Because Moab to Durango is certainly a big chunk of vacationers, and it might create some interesting entrepreneurial ideas. So I think there's a lot of creative people out here in the county. So that's what I'd like to.
Well, you know, and it's interesting. I have to tell you what happened here years ago. The speed limit in town was 30 miles an hour. And we actually approached CDOT to lower the speed limit because we really would like to see it at 25. We figured if you can slow people down, they may actually have a chance to see what we have. Well, after they did their famous traffic study, they raised the speed limit. So we're actually not giving up on that. I know the Dolores County Development Corporation is going to approach the commissioners so that we can reapply to have that speed limit lowered. And it's a safety factor too. I don't know if you've ever tried to cross 491, even with those flashing lights, you got to run for your life. So I fully agree. Yes, that would certainly help. There's another aspect here on the economic side. And you know, with all the rafting, and granted, there are some years because of the poor flows on the river, we don't have rafting. But when there is rafting here, we don't have a rafting company in Dove Creek. And we have two major access points to the river at the pumps and at the Bradfield Bridge. And there are hundreds of boating and rafting companies. But because all those licenses were given out, no licenses were ever given out to a resident of Dolores County. So that's just...
Certainly. A lot of people also really enjoy, locals enjoy just going out and ATVing and
yes.
have to go too far to have fun here. So.
Oh yeah, the forest and the BLM ground. You're right. Yes, you have a lot of recreational opportunities here, without a doubt.
Yep. So I hope everybody comes together and gets their heads together and gets a lot of good ideas going, and then actually acts on them and follows through. So I'm hoping for a good winner on this. Moving forward.
Well, so I think we all are. Well, yes. Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's about it for tonight.
All right. Well, Mel, thank you. Thank you very much for your comments.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Isn't it interesting how she mentioned about the independence can-do kind of tendency of the community, and what she thought that could translate into in terms of an entrepreneurial spirit. And we do see some folks that are beginning to try to do some things. And I kind of wonder if there's a little bit more encouragement, how much more may be possible. And I know the DCDC is trying to do those very things and to make the possibilities, at least the barriers to go away, but the possibilities to increase, and that's wonderful.
Right. Yeah, just from the economic side, one of the things that it's always been difficult for our area is that we don't have a war chest, meaning that war chest is to try to really attract a business. We did have, when we actually worked on the biodiesel facility, that was really our first real stab at a manufacturing. And unfortunately, in business, timing is everything. And when you basically break ground and 1 month later, the economy literally started to nosedive, unfortunately, they followed it right down. So But now, the buildings have been sold. We right now we have the large building is. We're not quite sure where that's going. There may be a small processing facility put in a large building, but we have a wonderful welding operation that seems to be really going gangbusters out there. So
Yes.
and expanding. So
That's
some
great.
things are
Yes.
happening.
Mhm.
We do have the downturn with the oil and gas, which hasn't helped, and don't know where that's going. So, but right now, we have over 200 producing wells, and right now, I do not believe they are doing any more drilling. So,
she had mentioned something that I don't know that we always think about as assets, and that's the stream of people going through Dove Creek as truly an asset that perhaps I hate to use the word captured because I don't want that to be misconstrued, but that we might somehow utilize in some way because many of them are vacationers.
Yes.
And the possibility of extending their stay here, and whether that is a decreased speed or other reasons, incentives for them to stop. And sometimes it's also as, I won't say as simple as, but removing some of the things that are not helpful, and so it's more encouraging to want to be around. It's when people start brainstorming or thinking out like this that I think more of the community begins to say, hey, we could consider those things. And this is another really wonderful thing about Dove Creek, isn't it? That despite a small size, you've got a community that's willing to vision, to think outside of the box. Right. And maybe that's a little bit of that can-do, that self-reliant mindset.
Well, a few years back, there was a group here that actually tried to capture. We have over 1,200 trucks a day pass through here, and I know that there were two possibilities. One was literally a truck stop. The other one was a repair facility, but those are going to be very, very expensive. There was and some of the money was just not there to be able to get that done.
Sure.
And actually, then I believe the tribe put it in down there near the casino, and we don't have a casino.
That's a good thing, Dan.
I guess they're talking about building a rec center here with the gym and.
Yep. Yes, they are. Yes. Would you use that all the
Wonderful.
time? Would you stop?
Better than driving a long ways to Cortez to use theirs.
Would you stop coming to DCTV though?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's all about priorities.
Yes. By the way, Brandon is one of our student assistants, and he works with us with the kids show at DCTV. We have Devlin McCarthy and Ciara McCarthy, who is in the back here. We have Edward Dickin, Myra Eggy, and the master of IT, Russell Tope, is here tonight working with us. And that's right. Keegan, I can't see you. Keegan Kiesling, I can't see him, but he's there. He's actually taking all the notes and writing down all the information that we're getting because this is information we're going to pass on to the Colorado Trust.
And when you say that, Dan, so that people are aware, so the destination isn't actually to the trust. They're kind of collecting it. They're serving as a kind of a repository for us, but it is the community's information, and it's and so we'll start to process it once it can be transcribed and collected. So
yes.
I just want to make sure that people know that this is a community initiative. All things are going to be kept here, managed here, and the Colorado Trust has really been wonderful in helping us. Giving us insight, consulting, leading, sometimes nudging or pushing, which we sometimes need. But I wanted to help the callers that may be watching realize that it does stay here.
Yeah, and it's important because, the more voices we hear, the more ideas that may develop. And right now, the way it's been going, as Pastor Greg had talked about initially, is that we've had 3 or 4 or maybe 10 or 15 people who have made the decisions without a lot of input. And again, that's when you get the reactive side of the community saying, well, okay, that was a nice idea, but it really wasn't a nice idea. So please give us a call, 677-2283. We'd love to hear from you just to see what your ideas are. If you have anything, just anything at all, any comments. Any comments at all, 677-2283. We'd love to hear from you. So would the Colorado Trust, and so would this initiative. We really, because again, you know, we've had quite a bit of input. We've had a lot of people attending these meetings. I believe there's been 4 or 5. And the school, you know, we have to give the school a lot of credit. The school has done
Absolutely.
The superintendent and the principal have really done a lot of work in coordinating a lot of this. So we really have to give them a really nice shout out on what they have done initially to really get this thing going and to maintain it.
Yes.
So again, thank you, school district.
And so many people that have just stepped up and said, you know, this is important. This is my community, and I want to help because I realize that when the voices of the community come together, then there can be some empowerment. There can be changes. People have seen what we can do as there are difficult times or perhaps crises that occur, and when we can step into that and make incredible things happen. We can certainly do that for all the other things that aren't crisis, and so it's just really a matter of continuing to tap what we already know how to do.
Okay. Now, Brendan, you had your opinions. How do you think some of your fellow students feel about the area? What? We have a go ahead. We have a caller.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative.
Go ahead, caller.
Thank you. I think this is great what you're doing, trying to get a public input, and I just wanted to say I love Dove Creek. I love that it's so unpolluted, and you can go out any night, just see tons of stars if it's cloudy. It's just a beautiful place to be, and I like the closeness of the community. I think one thing that I'd love to see trails through town, like Moab. I don't know if you're familiar, but you can go all over biking trails and keep the kids off the streets because they could, you know, they have tunnels under the roads, and going a tunnel under 497 with a highway would be a great idea.
That's a beautiful road that they have there, going all the way through Moab. It's paved. Yes, and that goes, for heavens, almost 15 miles, I believe.
It's a long way.
Yeah, it's a long way. Yes, I know.
And I'd love to see like more cross-country ski trails, or if they had anything like that to get kids out doing that kind of thing. I think it'd be great for the community, and it'd be great to try and get tourists in.
You know, I know that the chamber at one point had been trying to work on some bike trails.
Yes.
Through the community here, and I know that Bryce Capron had that up for quite some time. But you know, he struggled. He struggled because they actually tried to get a biking event here at one point. But you know, there are so many biking events that it was just one more biking event that for whatever reason they just couldn't get off the ground.
Yeah. But having something wintertime sports like cross-country skiing, that would be a wonderful addition, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, would, you know, but the only problem there is that sometimes we haven't had a lot of snow.
Yes.
Yeah, we had, at least here. I know the mountains generally get it. Rico usually gets quite a bit of snow. But I know here on the West End sometimes we haven't gotten a lot of snow. So, but so what other changes would you like to see then here in the Dove Creek, Dolores County area?
Well, we need more jobs, but I don't know how that would, how we can go about that. But I would like to see more work with the schools. I don't know how that would come about, but we need some professionals to come in and figure out what's going on with our schools to make it better. I think we've tried on our own, and I think we need maybe some outside experts to come in and fix what's problems.
Okay, that's an interesting point. Yeah, outside experts to assist the schools.
I think that could make a big difference.
Okay.
And that's about all I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you, caller. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
I'm going to have you say that. Thank you, caller. He volunteered for this. He really did. He said, I want to answer the phone. So you're answering the phone. All right, again, 677-2283. Give us a call. You know, this is, you know, we do for the major elections, and we'll probably do Election Central next year because it's a presidential election. We have a call-in show. We'll be sitting here and we'll be showing, especially when we have local races, we'll be doing that. And if you remember the what was it, the Bush and Gore race, we were here till 4 because nothing had been decided. There were a couple of issues on the ballot that hadn't been decided. We were here till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I finally said, look, is there anybody out there even listening to us? And next thing you know, the phone just it rang off the hook. It just wouldn't stop ringing. People were calling, yeah, we're watching. We don't go off the air. 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's not 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not even 6 o'clock in the evening. Please give us a call, 677-2283. We'd love to hear from you.
Isn't it interesting, some of the suggestions that give us even greater access to what's beautiful around us?
Yep.
And so it's really kind of enhancing that which we already think is wonderful, which is the natural beauty that we live in, and just being able to access it even more, and perhaps to share it with others that are coming through, and that's a wonderful view of being able to say, we don't want to just keep it for ourselves. We want to be able to share it with others, and that in doing so, that can improve the economy as well.
Right. Well, and that does bring up an interesting point. Originally, there were no signs advertising the River Road.
Yes.
And we had asked BLM and the Forest Service, could you put some signs to advertise the River Road?
Yes.
Well, the signs were put up, and we actually had people upset with us because it's actually, a lot of locals consider that a well-hidden secret. The Dolores River Canyon, which is absolutely stunningly beautiful and all that, is just,
absolutely.
And so, but you know what? We've never really seen a huge influx of people, other than during certain times of the year. We'll get some people that it can get kind of busy around there, but not to any significant extent. We have our hunting season here. We do draw a lot of hunters.
Yes.
From all over the air. A lot of them from Texas. Mm-hmm. They like to come up here from Texas. So we do see a lot of that here. But again, it's other than the local stores and everything, we don't have any, we don't have a lot of facilities, which is something that I know that even DCDC has talked about at times, that could be something that we could do, is really develop something where we could have a serious welcome center for whatever is happening.
Sure. Yes.
So a lot of opportunities, but as usual, sometimes the finances or the money just isn't there, and so that's something we've always struggled with. Really have. I will say this: the county has applied for some pretty significant grants. They're getting ready to build the community,
yes.
the senior center, which is going to be a huge step forward.
Yes.
That thing has been in the planning stages for years and years and years. I know Nita Burkett is just absolutely ecstatic, the director of the senior center, that's moving forward, and her staff, I know, they just can't wait for it to be built. There is a grant that's going in now also for a new county shop, and we're going to consolidate the emergency services and GIS over there also, and a public meeting room that'll accommodate 160 people.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to some new facilities that'll really enhance the community. The school has had their facilities have been improved. The health clinic has done a great job.
Yes.
So we do have a lot to offer here. We really do. So, but we're talking. You don't want to hear us talking. We want to hear you. So please give us a call, 677-2283. And if you don't want to talk to myself or Pastor Greg, talk to Brandon.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, well, in fact, why don't we, go ahead, Russ, why don't you go ahead and put the board up there now so they can see pretty much what we're dealing with? You know what, Devlin, I may have you, train the camera on the top one, zoom in, and then, yeah, zoom in on the top one. Oh, we have a call.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Duff Creek Alt Initiative. What is your question or comment?
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I just moved here from Moab, and I'm just wondering why you don't chase after the Moab traffic, because Moab's overpriced, not a lot of land, and you have so much here other than water pressure on your water system. Why don't you chase after the Moab tourist traffic?
You know, that's a good question. So that would be like under one of the changes. Why don't we chase after the Moab tourist traffic?
You have everything here. You're so close to Moab. You're so close to Monticello, Newspaper Rock, and that Canyon Land. Why don't you chase after the Moab traffic?
I guess the thing is we've got to have a draw. We've got to have a way to stop them, slow them down, or something that would before they get to Moab, knowing that they're only an hour and 10 minutes away from Moab, get them to stop. Yeah, and you're right. We have, you know, this is a high traffic highway. I mean, and it actually it's all.
I moved here from Moab. I was born and raised in Moab.
Yeah.
And I moved. And I worked for Black Oil in Monticello. I moved here on purpose because of what you have. I just don't understand why you don't chase after the tourists.
You know, maybe no one's asked that question before.
Actually, I'm racking my brain right now because most of what we have, as you know, we have the forest, we have a lot of recreational opportunities, but we don't have the level of organization that Moab has.
Yeah, but
why? I
yes.
mean, you obviously you have the commitment. You have this TV program. You have educated people in the community. The dollars are going by on the highway.
Yes, significant dollars going by on the highway.
Yes. Why don't you stop them?
You know, we're going to have a DC meeting here next week, and that could definitely be a topic that we can discuss.
Where's the meeting at? I live here in Duck Creek now. I'm from Moab. I'm born and raised. I live here in Duck Creek.
Okay, actually, the meeting and it's going to be at 11 o'clock, and it's here at the extension office, which is at the lower floor of the courthouse, and you'd be welcome to attend.
I'm just trying to. I just purchased a home here. I'm right up the street from the high school.
Okay.
And so, yeah, 11 o'clock next week.
It's 11 o'clock on Wednesday, and we meet at the extension office, and it's the Dolores County Development Corporation. And yes, you are more than welcome to attend. In fact, we'd welcome you.
One question I might want is water. Do you have water to grow with?
Actually, we do. We actually from what we don't have a lot of. And it was unfortunate when the big cuts came to the irrigation systems around the area. Dolores County really took it on the chin. We lost about 20,000 acres off of the original Dolores project when they had the big cutbacks. And basically all the cutbacks were they downsized the canal. Okay. So that hurt. Now we do have quite a bit of ample water supply out in the rural areas. It's just that those rural water lines don't necessarily go everywhere.
Yeah.
But there is quite a bit of supply. I mean, that system was well overbuilt, and we still haven't even come close to maximizing any part of that system at this point.
I truly believe, from being from Moab, and I worked for Marriott Hotels for 25 years, that tourism is the thing for Duck Creek.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, because we do have those opportunities. Yes, definitely.
Okay, and that's so 11 o'clock, I'll be there.
Yeah, 11 o'clock Wednesday here at the extension office.
All right, thank you. My name's Larry. Thank you.
Oh, I know. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, see, this is something else that's been so wonderful about this.
It was interesting. I'm sitting here going, yeah.
Yes.
How do we steal tourists away from Moab?
Yeah.
Because there's so many, when you see those big Jeep, when they have their big Jeep-a-thons,
Yes.
Hundreds of them are going through town. Hundreds of them. And then they're all coming back. And then when they're having their big bike things, you see all the people with their bikes going through. Now, there was at one time, didn't Bryce want to think about getting to like a repair service?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know,
yes.
if we had a repair, because we used to have a garage here many years ago, and we don't. You know, so if you had a repair service for something like that, especially after someone's gone rock crawling, and they partially wrecked their vehicle.
Yeah.
That
We have
would
the
be-
clinic for them, and we just need one for the vehicle.
Yeah, we just need one for the vehicle. Yes, that very good caller. I really, that was great.
And you
was,
see how sometimes this morphs into they're getting connected with other organizations, like
Yes.
the discussion about DCDC. And so it's interesting how things kind of get connected along the way by virtue of our having these conversations.
yes,
And
but this is all part of what we're trying to figure out. Is just
Yes.
ideas, things that we
Yes.
hadn't thought about.
yeah, networking people.
25 years and never thought about how do we stop the Moab traffic.
I think he said steel.
How do we capture the Moab
Yes.
traffic? Yes, very good, very good. Again, 677-2283. We're on a roll. Yes, sort of. Okay. Right. Hey, well, we're getting some calls. You know,
Yes.
we have done these shows at times where we didn't get a call. We didn't get any calls. But right now, look, we've already had 6 calls.
Yes.
So we're doing good. We're doing really well.
Dan, you were about to, I think, allow the camera to train on some
Oh,
of
yes.
these
Yeah, why don't we,
answers. And sometimes the beauty of this is that people kind of begin to kind of reflect about what they see, and it causes them to think about other things themselves. And so that's one of the reasons that being able to look at what people are coming up with is valuable. It improves your own thinking about the community, and sometimes you begin to think about more things as a result.
Right. Let me check. Russ, on the technical side, we're at an hour. Are you going to have to change? You're good. We're good. Okay, because we have another full half hour to go. All right. Sorry. So we're just double checking. Believe it or not, when we do these type of shows, especially with all the new digital technology that we have here in the studio, it uses up a tremendous amount of storage on our computer systems. So we have to be sure, because of we're using tremendous video, high definition video, and significant audio. So that uses a lot of computer space. So, which we just upgraded. Again,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So again, 677-2283. Give us a call. Devlin is panning through some of the comments, and and Pastor Greg, as you look at these comments, so you can see there has been a general theme
Yes.
throughout all these meetings of what
That's
you're
right.
seeing right now. This is some of them, maybe with the exception of the Moab comment.
Yes.
And
Although
the community law enforcement. Now that was an interesting one. Working with the community and law enforcement. That was, and
So-
the schools.
So one of the things that I see that's a little bit different is sometimes, especially in larger groups of people, we'll see more mention about infrastructure things.
Right.
And here, many times, there are things that people know, if we could just have this happen, and it may be just connecting the right people together, it may be something low cost, it may be pursuing certain tourist trade, whether it's getting traffic that's already in the area and getting them over here because of that proximity. And so this has been really kind of different in some respects,
Right.
and that's good. That's really good.
And one of the limiting capacities that we have here has been internet.
Yes.
And there is one thing I think that we really need to do, and again, this goes back to DCDC, is that we need to have a referendum, not a referendum, we need to vote to opt out of Senate Bill 152, which restricts, when the counties have this excess bandwidth, it restricts the counties from being able to pass this excess bandwidth onto the public sector, onto the private sector.
I see.
So that's something
Yeah.
that we can probably work at maybe for the next election, that we go ahead and say just opt out of Senate bill, because we have a lot of excess capacity here right now, but it's all for the public sector. And it can't be utilized legally. It can't be utilized because we were not grandfathered in, like Cortez, to
Yes.
use all this excess bandwidth. And I know some of you out there would really love to see excess bandwidth. I know if you're way off, like I have satellite internet, your options are limited. But if you had high-speed internet, that could really open up the opportunity for a lot of entrepreneurs and home-based businesses and
right.
people moving in from out of the area, like this gentleman from Moab.
Yes.
You know, if you had high-speed internet and you could work from home.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So again, give us a call, 677-2283.
Well, you know, we were talking about things that are similar. The what's special about Dove Creek, I think we see the most commonality over these meetings. So people do get it, and they recognize. And maybe especially if you've ever been outside of Dove Creek, you realize how special this really is. That most communities don't have that can-do and that caring the tendency to want to help one another and to be friends with one another, really come together for many different things, and that's really kind of priceless. And so and to live in such a beautiful area as well. That gives us opportunities for seasons and different look. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. The views here are stunning. I mean,
Yes.
from all areas. I mean, it's like, in fact, sometimes I remember when I was working for Colorado State University, sometimes we would, especially when you take the trip through Moab, and through the canyon area there, it's like, and they're paying us to go ahead and drive to a meeting. I mean, because it was so beautiful.
Yes.
And driving down the canyon, even taking the back route down through Gateway and all that area, just absolutely gorgeous. The Disappointment Valley in itself is just beautiful.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's a great place. So again, 677-2283. You don't want to hear us talk. We want to hear you talk.
Absolutely.
So please give us a call. Remember, you can remain totally anonymous. Yeah, yeah, you can change your voice too. Yeah.
You know, Dan, we could talk a little bit about the process, and so since really, I think it's been more in late October, early November until now. So it's not been a long time for a lot of these meetings and these conversations, and so we're still early in this process of collecting the voices of the community, and that will then begin to shift a little bit after a while, and we begin to process that. Not only collect it, but begin to look at similarities, differences, and then to consider different plans. And so we will see kind of shifting as we move along through the rest of this calendar year and especially into 2016. And so I know that the interest is absolutely to keep everybody informed as to what's going on and to make public the findings and kind of what's being considered. Then we don't, go too far astray. It continues to be completely resident-led and managed.
Well, and I've got one of the original documents that they gave us at the very first meeting. The very first meeting that we had with the trust, it was, and I'm just reading their bullets. It said, get to know each other. And we did. We actually had more than just one meeting on the get to know each other. And now we're kind of moving between build resident teams, and as building resident teams, one of the issues there is who's missing, which is why we're having this show. We're trying to bring those out who haven't attended these meetings, who may feel uncomfortable going to a public meeting. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative.
Hey guys,
Yes,
how you doing?
we're doing fine. How about you?
Well, a little cold, but getting some wood on the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, things I like about this place is you guys, this whole town, the community, I love the people. Came here from Moab, from back east, and just been in love with it ever since. Got a place on the Canyon of the Ancient Edge Canyon, Monument Creek area, and it's really wonderful to explore the canyons by foot and all. And that's my point on number 3 would be, where is the portal, or where do you go? What town owns the Canyon of the Ancients? What town mans up and said, hey, come here, go to the Canyon of the Ancients?
It should be us.
Yeah, actually, it should be us, because we are really the only ones that really have a good direct access to the Canyon of the Ancients. Even when you get from Cortez, they still have to come up and get to the canyon through the points.
Yes.
And then, of course, when you look even from Utah, they have to come all the way to County Road 2, or now County Road 1.7, and that's how they access the Canyon of the Ancients. So yes, that's a very good point.
Well, it sounds like tourism and ecotourism, agro-tourism, and maybe even hemp tourism. You never know.
Well, what was that other tourism?
Hemp, as in the cultivation of hemp.
Oh, hemp. Well, yeah. Actually, you know, it's the experiment station actually planted an experiment this year using hemp.
Right. Well, I think this was or is the bean capital of the world, right?
Yes. That's actually our one claim to fame.
Well, you get up and coming industry of hemp and get the farmers to do that.
Yes. In fact, that's the research is currently being conducted at the experiment station as we speak on hemp, and I believe that experiment is going to continue.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's another driving force for this community that could make it unique, because no one's really owned up to that one.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. One of the problems that they're having right now with hemp is that there's still some federal guidelines that they have to follow, and the biggest problem that they have is seed. That seed is incredibly expensive. You need to plant somewhere between, I believe, it's 15 to 20 pounds per acre, and it's $100 a pound for the seed. So,
Talk to Monsanto about that.
well, actually, the seed is coming from, I believe they've been trying to get it out of Mexico or Canada. The feds are slowly relaxing the restrictions on this, but it's taking the universities a little bit of time to wade through the rules and regulations.
Well, it's a good time to be a first here in Duff Creek.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's about all I had to say. Just love this place, and you're doing a great job. Keep it up.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, caller.
Bye.
Bye. Well, hemp. You know the well, the byproducts from hemp are just staggering. I mean, it really is. It is really staggering the number of byproducts that you can make from hemp. Everything from the oils to the fiber to whatever. And you know it's the Canadians and the Canadian market and the Mexican markets are the ones who are dominating it right now because of I personally feel, which is a misguided concept, that, you know, hemp, which does look like a marijuana plant when you look at it. I mean, it's hard to tell the difference, but it doesn't have any. Yeah, as Edward said, yes, it doesn't have any of the happy stuff. Yeah,
That's good.
that's good. You smoke 10 pounds of that, and you're just gonna have a really sore throat. So, but yeah, that is a possibility. They're working on it now. The one thing we have another caller. This is getting good. Go ahead.
Good evening. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative. What's your question or comment?
Just a comment. It's me again. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be hogging it, but I had the opportunity this past year of going to Chaco Canyon. And what we did was we took a day trip starting in Farmington, and we had 5 people. We all piled into this van and went there, and we had the person who really knew the area and knew archaeology and explained all. It was really interesting. Why couldn't something like that be done here with, the Canyon of the Ancients? Have a place where they could just meet, pile into a van. We had a little lunch that they took for us, plenty of water, and someone that knows the area knows what's going on there, and do like I do in Farmington with Chaco Canyon.
Actually, I believe if you make a request to the BLM office up in Dolores, that federal land center there, I think that they will, because they have specialists that know that area very well, and I believe that they can go ahead and schedule tours. I know that I know we have had tours through that area, but it dealt mostly with the ecology and with the fires. You know, how they were going to recover from some of the fires that had happened there. So, but yeah, that was good comment.
Well, don't they have ruins in the Canyon of the Ancients?
Oh, they have hundreds of ruins
Yes.
through there.
Well, that's what was so fascinating about Chaco Canyon was the people, the lady archaeologist that went with us. It was fascinating what those ancient people could do and how they set up. There was one wall that, just one plain straight wall, but it was a certain length, and it delineated the festivals and the times and things for every month of the whole year for the people. You know, just things like this, if someone could come and say that even. But just a thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
caller.
you, caller.
So I think one of the things she was just kind of mentioning is, an opportunity to train up what you might call a docent or someone that may not be educated in the field per se, like an archaeologist, but that is trained up enough about the facts and the ability to present them to lead people through some of those areas. And so in some cases, some of those kind of docent training are done by organizations that just kind of decide that's what they want to do. And so, if that could become an industry, maybe not big, but certainly opportunity, because we don't necessarily have archaeologists on standby to go take tour groups through. But it's when people come up with the ideas of wouldn't it be nice if we could do this, then that kind of backs into, well, how do we provide the expertise or the resource or whatever to meet that kind of need.
We have so many cultural, archaeological, and natural resources here that are so totally underutilized.
Yes.
It is
absolutely.
It is remarkable how underutilized some of this stuff is.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
Everything from I don't know if have you ever been down the river, all the way down the river?
No, I've not.
That's an adventure all by itself. I've been down it a couple of times, but there's so many things that we have here that are just underutilized.
Yes.
And some of it is because we do have the personnel or we don't have the personnel to deal with it. I do know though with the forests that if you do ask for them, they will. It may take some time, but they will accommodate you. They will.
Yeah.
They will. Good question. Good comments.
Yes.
Again, 677-2283. Caller, we'd like to hear from you. Please give us a call. Do you fish?
No.
Yes. Do you hunt?
I want to.
You want to? Okay.
So I'm going to next year.
Do you have are you a mountain biker?
No.
Okay. Do you have a four-wheeler?
Yes.
Okay. And you like four-wheeling, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You go four-wheeling with your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's a draw right there in
Because
itself.
there's a lot of places in the forest.
It's all over the place. Yeah. So you do that. Well, good. See, so a lot of possibilities. Again, give us a call, 677-2283.
So, Brandon, you could be a future guide. You already know the places, don't you?
Yes, he does. Yeah, we're. Are you? And let me just, Keegan, you getting all this? Let me just see a thumbs up. Thank you. All right, good. Yeah, Keegan is working on he's working on a computer there, getting all the thoughts down. So we'll make sure we get all this to the trust. And if you go ahead, Devlin, if you can go ahead and put the focus has been what changes would you like to see. Why don't we put that, Russ, put that back up. There we go. And Devlin, focus on what changes you'd like to see, because I know we've got a lot in there. So please give us a call, 677-2283. We'd like to have to bring out a whole new whiteboard.
Do you see it's kind of interesting that a lot of those things have focused on the area, our natural resources, as opposed to I'll call it big industry.
Yeah.
And so it may be just the people that are watching and have these ideas, but it's it potentially, because you had mentioned the costs sometimes associated with certain endeavors being prohibitive. It's just such an expensive thing to do, and some of these things. I mean, I don't know what it would take, but it doesn't require massive facilities necessarily.
Right.
And so this is kind of exciting to hear ideas that that may be closer than we might have thought.
Well, and a lot of these ideas are not cost prohibitive.
Yes.
A lot of times they're a phone call.
Yes.
That's it. It's just
That's
a phone
right.
call.
Yes.
That's a cheap investment.
Planting seeds,
Yeah.
getting people to think about
Yeah.
it, going, you know what, I could lead a group, or I could learn enough to understand those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, 677-2283. Give us a call if you're out there. Any comments, anything at all, we'd love to hear from you. Brendan would love to hear from you. He loves
Yes.
giving his introduction.
Getting better each time.
He's getting better each time. Yes, he is. You know, when I first came here, I was not a fly fisherman. And now I just died of fly fish. But I'm not going to say where my special fly fishing places are.
They're going to remain hidden like all the other hidden places.
Yes.
So, when someone was talking about that, about, the we as locals want to hide our places.
Yes.
So we need trails that go to nowhere, but are
Yes.
still interesting for the
Yes.
tourists to preserve the special places.
And again, I think if we can, and I would never advocate for a street light because for whatever reason, I know that causes major heartburn for a lot of people if you try to put a street light in.
Yes.
Stop traffic. But slowing traffic down really can impact a business. Why do you think some of these communities have 25 miles an
Sure.
hour?
Yeah.
It's because they know that if you slow them down, it gives them a chance to see something.
Yes.
Well, when you're going through town at 40 miles an hour, which a lot of people do, it's a blur. Everything is a blur.
So, that kind of begs the question, if you slowed them down, would what they see cause them to stop?
That's what you'd hope.
Yeah.
And look, and even if it's just look, Adobe Milling,
Yes.
and you stop at Adobe Milling, and then if you need fuel or, now we have the Family Dollar store. I mean, it's just little by little. I know that the welding operation now is going to be trying to put trailers there on the highway to attract possible drive-by. I mean,
Yes.
a lot of it's all visual, and it is a restricted highway when it comes to advertising, so that kind of is a limiting factor. We're not limited at the business park though.
Right.
We can put whatever business sign in there we want, and we don't have to worry about the CDOT at all on that. So, but please give us a call 677-2283. We've got about another 10 minutes. So if you have an opinion or anything, express your opinion about what we're doing, about the Colorado Trust. I was explaining, before I was interrupted with a very nice phone call.
Yes.
We were talking about, some of the stages on how the Trust has wanted to see this process go forward. So right now we're between the build resident teams, like who's missing, support and build resident capacity. We're really now we're there, and now we're starting to move together with the learn together, heading into the planning stages.
Yes.
I think that's the one thing that we're looking at right now. With only 10 minutes to go, I am going to throw something out there that had been a recurring theme through every single meeting that I sat through, and it was sidewalks.
Yes.
Sidewalks.
Yes.
Every single meeting, it was the one project or theme that people said that they really wanted to see. Believe it or not, 15 years ago, we actually came up with blueprints for actually putting sidewalks in Dove Creek. All along, we actually had investigated. We had an architect draw them up. We spent about almost $5,000 on that project
Yes.
to go ahead and see if we could, what we could do. But and then somebody actually mentioned not only on Main Street or on both sides of the highway, but up Main Street, because
Yes.
technically,
Yes.
you know, Main Street is, you know, basically perpendicular to the highway, which is interesting because remember that's the way town was originally laid out before they put
Yes.
the highway through.
Yes.
So
Well, you know, when people talk, in fact, I was hearing that not only from, I'll say older residents, but youth. That was a common thing as well. And I think it reflects I'll call it the walkability of Dove Creek. When I used to live in town, I'd love to just get out and walk. And so I think that's a desire to preserve that and not necessarily walk in the middle of where cars are going.
well, and it can be, it's actually a safety factor too on
Yes,
top of it. Yes,
that's right.
I mean it, and I believe the right of ways are there. I believe it can be done. It's not an overly expensive type of project, but it would take some significant funding in this day and age. I mean, 20 years ago it was a lot cheaper back then, but that is a good possibility, and I think it would also help with the attractiveness of the town.
So that was another thing that I thought you were actually going to go to, that I heard as a recurring theme is that attractiveness in trying to stop traffic, so that if they were going slower, that there would be something attractive for them to go to, or at least to minimize what we might refer to as blight or less
Yes.
desirable. And that impacts not only tourism but also businesses as well.
Yes.
That may consider wanting to move in. Is the community? Does it take pride enough in itself to desire to make itself look attractive? So that's a kind of a big deal to businesses as well. And quite honestly, we should have that desire to have an attractive town.
Right. So yeah, beautification projects. So
Yes.
we worked on one here many years ago. The trees that you see, some of the trees. In fact, the rationale that we had when we had that project was we wanted the trees to outnumber the telephone poles.
That's a good ratio. Yes.
Let me tell you, it was the reason we got the grant. Which I guess they got a point.
Yes.
So-
We want live trees,
we
not
want
dead
live
ones.
trees. Yeah, not dead ones. So again, if you have any ideas, folks, we're getting close to closing time here. So 677-2283, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Just any comments at all about this process, because, like I said, this is pretty much one of the last stages, I think, on at least drawing input from the community to a degree, because we've already had several meetings,
Yes.
and now we're at the stage where now we have to start developing at least possible some planning.
Yes. So Dan, you had talked about building resident teams, and so one of the teams that's already been built, and there was some training around that occurred right before Thanksgiving, is to have a set of people that can really lead and initiate some of these community conversations. And so some of those have already taken place.
Yes.
And so we'll probably see some more of those going on for at least the next 2 or 3 weeks leading into the Christmas time. And so there'll be more opportunity yet for voices. And I think that perhaps as people are hearing about this and they go, you know, I didn't really feel like I gave as much input as I'd like. I'd still like to. And so we want to provide for that venue as well. So
Right.
there'll still be opportunity yet. But you're right that we need to start to pull some of this together and allow people to know what's been said. Yeah.
You know, and it's important. This is a community plan.
Yes.
You know, this isn't a trust plan. This isn't a county plan. It isn't a town plan. It's a community plan. We're all part of that community, but this is why we really do need to hear from you.
Right.
And you know what? As we start to wrap this up, if you still have some other comments or questions or whatever, you can always just drop a note by here at the TV studio, or drop something off over at the church.
Actually, I think that Gus Westerman had mentioned that any of that kind of input could be submitted at the extension office.
Yep.
And that there is also some additional flyers and materials that are being hosted there, since that's kind of a common central area for people. But But otherwise, yes, any of us that have been
Any of us
active-
here, please, just feel free. You know, if we'd hate to have again, we go ahead and do something and then we have the reactive community side come out. We'd like to say that we want to see the proactive side. We really do. We want to see people say, hey, this is a good idea. Let's go
Yes.
ahead and do it as a unified community. So again, we still have some time. 677-2283. We'd love to hear from you. We've got about 5 minutes and then we have to close it down. So 677-2283. Just give us a quick call. Anything, any comment at all. We need to keep Brendan awake.
I'm falling down on my job. Huh?
Yeah.
So one of the points that I had noted also is, and I think you had mentioned to me, Dan, that there are various plans that exist in various ways. You had talked about blueprints as an example for sidewalks. I know there's other plans that the county's worked on, et cetera. And so any kind of planning effort that goes on past this would need to, I'll say, dovetail or at least acknowledge, understand how those might come together.
Well,
so
if like for instance, let's just say just for argument's sake, we say we're going to do the sidewalk project.
yes,
There would have to be some before that even was even fully initiated. We would have to have some serious discussions with the town because
Yes.
the town would be heavily impacted by
Right.
that. Even though it would be great, the community's on board, the trust's on board.
yes,
But you've got to have the town and town fathers on board that they're in agreement with this.
Yes.
I mean, so
Yes.
you have to get the political side of this involved also. And that could also be for the county.
Right.
I mean, if there's something outside of the area that people want to focus on, the county would have to be involved. And I know from both aspects, both the town and the county, what they always look for is, fine, if you have an idea, bring it to us. They're always willing to listen. So and I think
Yes.
that's very important. But it's going to have to be an organized plan. So that's where we're at now.
and that's an area where the Colorado Trust has expressed the possibility of being able to help us consultatively as we continue along here, and
Oh, we have a caller.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative.
Caller, you've got to get your phone away from a speaker. You must be listening to us on TV.
I'd
Caller?
like to make a suggestion about cafeteria food.
Okay.
I think the students should be able to eat as well as they do at the schools as they do at home almost. What they serve at the cafeterias is probably not very good at all.
Okay, so you think they need to have improved cafeteria food?
Yeah, more nutrients.
Okay. All right, well, let's put that, we have to put that down. Changes
Yes.
we'd like to see, improved cafeteria food.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, caller.
Yep, bye.
Bye. So we have young people listeing and
that's
watching.
wonderful.
That's
yes.
great, that's great.
And are concerned about their own health and
Yep.
having choices, and I have not had any of the cafeteria food, so I don't have that reference. Not this cafeteria, but
Brendan? All right.
put you on the spot.
Well, we're going to put you on the spot, son.
I really don't think it's that good.
You don't think it's that good?
No, they have ribbicues. It's meat that's been left over for quite a while.
No? Okay, we have another caller. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Brendan. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative.
Go ahead, caller.
So I was just watching, and one thing I would like to see this community to have again is hunter's education courses.
You know, that's right. They used to have that here, and they don't. But that's a very good comment, the hunter education. And you know, I think what happened was when we lost both Dave Harper and Matt, when Matt left, I think I'm not even sure where the Department of where the Colorado Parks and Wildlife officer is located now.
Yeah, neither do I. And always have a course in Durango or Cortez, and I can't ever make it to those.
Right. Okay.
That's good.
Hunter education. That's a that's a big deal here
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
for a variety of reasons. Yes, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, boy. Well, we still have time. We'll wait another couple of minutes here if we get another call. But thank you, caller. Actually, I'm you know, if we did a Nielsen rating, we're doing pretty good. that's a lot of people are watching us.
Yes.
That's good. Oh. Go ahead. Look at this.
Good evening. My name is Brandon. Welcome to the DCTV and the Colorado Trust Dove Creek Initiative. What's
Yep.
your question or comment?
Go ahead, caller. Hello?
I feel that one of the changes we should make is we should have more of a focus on an arts program in the school. Because there seems to be this intense focus on sports, and not everybody is into sports. And one of my problems when I went through the school was that there wasn't really an arts program, and I really wanted one. But I couldn't get involved in that because there was nothing like that anywhere.
Right. And when you mention arts, I guess you're talking about more than just art as drawing or painting. You're talking about everything from playing instruments to theater to film, photography, whatever. Is that what you're talking about?
That's correct.
Okay.
They're
Good,
actually
good.
putting together music and arts in the school now.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because there's a STEM class for
Mhm.
science, and it's like electronics and art and music and a lot of other things that you could do.
okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, caller.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye. Oh, that's 9, 10,
Yes.
that's 11. All right, we'll stay on for 2 more minutes. We're already past our deadline, but that doesn't matter. This is, you know, I'm not really, I don't think we're bumping into the networks right now, so I think we can still continue on. If we get we'll wait another couple of minutes, and if we get a call, we'll take it. So please give us a call. We're getting ready to wrap it up here. And again, I would like to thank my crew,
Yes.
Edward Dickin, Devlin McCarthy, Brendan Holiday, Mr. Keegan, Miss Myra, and the Master of Technology, Russell, for their support, and of course my co-host, and our phone answerer and commentator. Yes, you were the color commentator tonight.
Yes.
Really, we'd like to thank everybody for their support and for the hard work that they put into the show. Please give us a call. We'll just give you another minute. We'd love to hear from you. 677-2283. Well, we'll have a copy of this show. Is going to be rebroadcast. Russ, can we rebroadcast this? Okay, we are going to rebroadcast it. Can we do that tomorrow evening? Except we have one problem. If they call, nobody's going to be here. Okay, he'll put a note on it. Yeah, okay.
Don't call.
Don't call. This is a recording. This is you can put a recording on there, Russ. That just hit me.
I'm glad tomorrow's not April Fool's.
Yeah, really. And then we'll also have a transcript of the comments that were made here tonight. So, with that, Pastor Greg, Brendan,
It's been a wonderful show.
It's been
Yes.
a great show. I think we've had a lot of fun. Again, I want to thank everybody in the community for participating.
Yes.
Good night, and have a very pleasant evening.